Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Thirsty Topics. How's it going, Wander?
Man, it's going. I'm chilling out today, man, because we got that fog or smog or the smoke from Canada. And I walked the dogs earlier and I'm just chilling today. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely hear you. I went outside earlier and I my eyes started watering, started like coughing a little bit, and then I know you and I spoke early, and I did not sound like myself.
You didn't? I thought you had just woken up or something.
So, drank a bunch of water, some tea, and everything. And if you live in the Midwest or if you live in the Northeast section of the United States, yeah, you don't want to be outside unless you have to. It's pretty bad. I mean, you can actually smell the smoke in the air.
You can smell it. I smelled it this morning around 7 something when we were walking the dogs. And I'm going like, oh my gosh, so it only got worse. And so there are other places that are worse than we are. Like they can't even see, like New
Yeah,
York and places like that.
yeah, I can actually, if you look hard enough, you can actually see the mist outside of the smoke.
You can't. That's why I had to blink my eyes to make sure, I don't have my glasses on. And I had to blink my eyes to see, was it foggy outside? And I remembered there was the smoke. Then you step out there, you could actually smell the burning. So yeah, be careful
Yes,
out there, guys. Yeah.
that is true. We got so much topics to talk about today. And the crazy thing, Wander, is I had a hard time narrowing it down to five because it was so much stuff going
Yes,
on.
there's so much
It
happening.
seemed like more than usual.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So let's get started then. Let's get this
Alrighty.
party started.
Well, the first thing we're going to talk about here, and I think it's a good thing. Some people may not, but we're going to talk about this thing called Surgy robotic doctors.
Bless you.
Thank you. So basically, researchers at UC San Diego have successfully used 5 foot tall humanoid robots nicknamed Surgy to perform the world's first teleoperated live surgeries guided by human surgeons. The robots perform gallbladder removals on pigs, making a milestone for more accessibility, portable, and affordable robotic surgery. Wow. What do you think about that, Wander?
You know, let's be clear. I'm for evolution. That the robots will not take the place of doctors. They're only tools, and even though they're operated and they're highly trained by surgeons, and just like any other evolution or new wave technology, that's all it is. It's just making because you think about the times of what doctors knew even when I was born in the 60s, right? So just think about what the technology that has grown. And I can remember being pregnant with my daughter at an early age, and technology had gotten a little bit better, but not for someone. My daughter was a neonatal, so technology changes along with the doctors, and so I don't see anything necessarily wrong with that. You know, I had a C-section. And I wonder now if a robot had done it, would it just be like a thinner line? I don't know. What say you? I can't hear you.
Sorry. I guess I have mixed feelings on it. Now,
Mm,
the way they're doing it right now, it looks like you still have to have a doctor guiding the robot on what to do. So it's being
absolutely.
used as a tool, not a replacement. And I'm okay with
Mm.
that. I just get nervous if it gets to the point where they say, okay, you have a major heart surgery and the robot's going to take care of you. Well, is the doctor going to be watching over it? No, no, the robot's good. I'd be a little nervous about that.
Oh
So,
yeah, that's almost like the self-driving car.
yes,
Now
yes.
we can only digest a little bit at a time here. Because from what I understand, with that particular article, the doctors are controlling the robots, and from what I'm understanding, and that maybe I could be wrong, the incisions are sharper. That's why I was mentioning about the C-section. Though I was cut by a regular doctor, right? Uh,
Mhm.
and so with these robotic, they're going to be a little bit more precise with the cutting. The pain is supposed to be less, a faster recovery. So there's a lot more to it than just, oh, a robot's doing this on me, because a human being is actually running the robot. Now, what you just said, if we get to a point just a robot, who knows, maybe uh, we would get to that point somewhere down, probably when our grandchildren are adults or something, it'll come down to just the robots doing it. It could be sooner. But yeah, so it's again something that's different. But when you think about it, what doctors knew 30 years ago, 60 years ago, things have changed even with that.
That's true. That's true. Um, some notes that I have here, and actually positive notes is
Mhm.
accessibility. So their compact size makes them ideal for smaller clinics, remote communities, or field medicine scenarios. So basically, I guess what they're saying is that the long-term goal is to integrate artificial intelligence so humanoids can work alongside human surgical teams to autonomously complete specific steps of a procedure. Now, the one thing that I'm wondering, and I don't know the answer to this, is it going to help out with the increasing cost of healthcare? Healthcare is very, very expensive. And, let's face it, you could probably have a robot do way more operations than a human can. And what you do is maybe you have, again, I'm just talking out loud, is
Yeah.
maybe you have a team of surgeons doing this many surgeries, and then the next team comes in and this one. Again, just thinking out loud, I would think that that would be a cost savings on the healthcare system too.
Well, I don't know, because when things first come out, they're expensive. Look at the TVs. I remember spending $2,000 for one of those platinum TVs. So when things first come out, it's people, it's usually for people that have money. So that would be a concern. Will the rich people afford this technology, and someone poor couldn't because of the cost?
Mhm.
I was walking somewhere and saw, I couldn't believe I saw a 50-inch TV for 198, a 50-inch TV.
Yes.
So somewhere down the line, just like even with the computers, they were so expensive when you first got a computer. So I think because of the technology, and it's new, and it's making all of these promises, my thing is the cost is important, but compassion.
Yes.
People are they're concerned about the compassion of a robot.
Excuse me. Yeah. The other thing too is, sometimes when you're doing surgery, there are other things that you see. Okay. Now, here's the big question. Will a robot have the thought process to see, oh, I know I'm working on this, but I see some issues here that we should address or bring up to the patient as well? Now, a human surgeon does that all the time. That's just a part of
Yeah.
what they do. But will that robot have that same knowledge to do that?
With the way I'm looking at the AIs and all the different things like that, I can almost believe that that's a possibility, that they could probably even see more than what the doctor sees. Because a lot of, when you think about, the fight with AI, and the people believe in the dangers in it, and some people see the good in it. So I can almost see that that would have to be a plus, that and if it didn't, it would be a shame to go back, to the drawing table to put that in. So hopefully they hear what you're saying. But as far as the compassion, people are like, well, my doctor can have more compassion on me when they see like a cancer patient or a diagnosis. Then they can be a little bit more human.
Mhm.
But on the other hand, I worked at a hospital, and I was a chart tracer, a very large hospital. And when I'm looking for those charts for surgery or whatever, somebody's doctor's appointment, I have kind of overheard some dialogue with doctors in surgery rooms, and they're drinking, talking, some of them eating. So they're kind of cold. And I've
Hmm.
heard doctors can be kind of cold while they're doing surgery, or even with my daughter's doctor, she was diagnosed, and I felt that this guy was a little bit cold with the way, oh well, you'll probably have to have chemotherapy, you'll probably die. He was very cold to
Wow.
my doctor, to my daughter, and we just kind of looked. So even as humans, doctors can be kind of cold too. Now, that robot could be made out of plastic or some type of metal. You know he's going to be cold because there's no soul there. So, you weigh the difference with that, and what is your pocket saying? So that can go either way, in my opinion.
That's true. That's true. Something tells me that this is probably going to expand how fast and how wide we'll see, but unfortunately, this is here to stay.
You think? Oh yeah, well, it is what it is, as they say. It is what it is, and it's basically what a person wants to think about. So, are we ready for our next topic? Or
Oh,
you?
yes. And I got to warn the people that don't like to fly. Hold on to your seat. You may not like this story.
Hold on to your horses. My goodness. And I was really, really excited. I got a lot to say about this. Um, I know you guys probably have heard about this. Is that if we die together. A wife of a man nearly sucked out of a Ryanair plane. She speaks of the ordeal. So a woman held onto the legs of her husband as he was nearly sucked head first out of a Ryanair cabin a window on Friday, and said his shoulders and head were almost outside of the plane. So I can't pronounce these names on here. Sylvana Gorick. I don't know who they are. I'm gonna mess their name up. If they were American, I probably messed their name up. Who were traveling? She was traveling with her husband to Greece and into Germany, and told BBC Serbia, and two other passengers helped pull them back inside after nearly 2 minutes. We pulled him back together, she said. His entire face was deformed and blood was pouring from his nose and mouth.
Mm.
So, my thought on that topic is, my God, where's the love? I hope they didn't have an argument. I know that that had to be some love there. Because if they had been in an argument, mad at each other, whoop, okay, he's out the window. But could you imagine anybody sitting next to you on a plane and the window just opens up? I've seen it in movies, like a vacuum cleaner, and just sucked it out. That's real love. And the story tells just how fragile life is. We could be here 1 minute and the next minute we're gone. So it's more than just what happened out that window, but that's huge that this man was nearly sucked out the window. And her instincts was to grab him, and by his feet, his legs, or whatever. And so that's just amazing. How would you feel sitting next to someone, your wife, someone sitting next to you, and all of a sudden, because you got to be thinking, because you don't have time to think. I mean, your instincts have to be kicking in. What's your thought?
I think for me, I mean, God forbid, my instinct would kick in to grab her,
Yeah,
because I can tell
reflex.
you something that quick, she didn't think about that was just pure instinct to grab him.
Yeah,
But on the same token, you would never think that, hey, me or my spouse may get sucked out of an airplane in the air. No one would ever think that.
yeah,
And I think it's opening up a lot of serious questions that need to be asked because between the near misses, between the airplane crashes. I mean, granted, those are small planes; they're still planes. There's it seems like to me over the last year there's been a lot of mishaps. In fact, um, the incident over in I think it was Washington D.C. where the plane crashed into the helicopter. I mean, there's been a lot of instances lately where it kind of makes you wonder: is there something bigger going on that we're not aware of?
Oh, absolutely, it is, and unfortunately, it's political. There's a lot of people that were in these jobs. They have been fired.
True.
So you don't have people manning the stores anymore. So there's a lot, and because so much other stuff is going on, it's a distraction, and we do need to be careful about that. We need to be very, very careful about taking trips, going different places or whatever, because just even the other day on the beach, the plane came so close to the people on the beach that was like a day or so ago. So there's a lot of stuff happening in a situation. And could you imagine that poor guy probably thought Morris the cat? He had 9 lives. I couldn't even imagine what was going through his head because it was happening to him.
If I had to guess, Wander, I would say that he thought he was going to die that day, literally. And
Because you
and
don't know what's happening. What?
you hit on some great points that I want to stress because one of the things with all the craziness going on, we kind of forget that a large number of officials were fired from the FAA when Doge was taking care of things.
Yes.
Now, we don't know who these individuals are, what they did, but that's a fact. There was a lot of FAA employees that were fired. Now, the other thing too is we always had an issue with not having enough air traffic controllers.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the other thing we don't know is when they had those government shutdowns, how many of those air traffic controllers said, screw this, I'm not doing this no more, that left and made the situation worse.
Yeah.
And it's like we wait till fire comes out, and instead of planning ahead, it's like we're putting out fires after they start.
Yeah.
Because it takes, I want to say, and I don't want to misspeak here, but I want to say it takes anywhere from 18 months to 2 years to bring on new air traffic controllers. So this isn't something you could just go and, put an ad out there and just hire a bunch of people. It doesn't work that way. You have to plan for it. So it just kind of wonders why no one kind of saw this coming.
Well, it's because it's again, I believe, in my opinion, and this is alleged, it's it's everything that's going on, all the other different distractions. You know how you've seen it, crooks when they're tapping you on this shoulder or they're doing something to get you distracted while they're stealing over here. So that's part of what's happening. There's so much going on that it takes people like us on our platforms and the different platforms to talk about this situation, that situation. You know what I'm saying? So it's just this is one thing among so many. All of them are serious. Everything that we talk about, these things are definitely serious things to talk about, and they need to be brought to the forefront, especially being the summer. People are traveling. If it's not one thing, it's another with the airport. So yeah, so we definitely have to think about that. That poor guy, oh, God bless his soul. And of course, we'll probably hear him giving his story on Good Morning America or something soon to talk about his life, flashing before his eyes, and then even the wife and even the people that surround them. You think about the people on that plane, because everybody, when you think about that plane, everybody on that plane was in danger.
Right. Now here's a great question. Do you think that couple will ever fly again after that?
I, I don't know. I probably wouldn't. It'll be probably a
Mhm.
long, and especially getting all of the details about people not in place. We need air traffic controllers and things of that nature. I probably wouldn't, because even like right now, you know, I'm being mindful of things, especially getting closer to the election.
Mhm.
About traveling outside of the country. God bless those that still are still, Party like it's 1999. People are still enjoying life as they should, but also you should be watchful. But I don't know. I wouldn't. I certainly wouldn't fly again. And I guess it's kind of like driving a car. You're in a no, I don't know that plane, because even with a car, there are ways of getting out of a car wreck probably unscathed. But a plane, you're in the hands of God and the birds that they probably hit.
That's true. That's true. Well, we'll definitely pray for um for the husband and wife on that, and also pray for the other people on the plane, because even though it didn't happen to them, I'm quite sure they're not going to forget what they saw. So
Oh, absolutely not. I know I certainly wouldn't. And again, hopefully we'll hear some updates about, you know, how the guy is doing, how they're doing, because she was just as much a victim, but her reflexes, thank God for her reflexes. He owe her.
amen for that. Well,
He
after a
owes her.
story like that, we definitely need a good story.
Say it again.
I said after a story like that, we definitely need a good story to follow up with.
Yes. I don't know if I got the right, clicked on the right one, because there's so many articles with this one. Um, where this story, like you say, it's upbeat, but I got something to say about that one too now. Okay. Moms are increasingly ditching corporate careers to pursue entrepreneurs through acquisition. Rather than building from scratch, they are buying existing small businesses, and this trend is accelerated by moms offering mom sessions, offer moms the ability to set their own schedules, work remotely. One of the things, the many things, uh, small business loans. Many of them they're acquiring the small business loans. Some of them they say it's instant cash flow. The workplace is flexible for parents now to buy businesses, existing businesses for their children. Now, I just read a few things. It's an instant cash flow. It's a workplace flexibility. It establishes operations, right? What's your thought on that? Because I'm going to come back on the other end of that. Or should I go ahead and give my opinion now?
I think it's great personally, for a number of reasons. One, by owning a business as opposed to working for someone, that instantly allows you flexibility for your personal life.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the idea of purchasing a business, whether it's an existing business, whether it's a franchise. But what happens is that when you do that, you're not starting from scratch. And if you do a franchise, there's a big corporation behind you in most cases that's going to help you, kind of figure out all these things up front that you would have to find out on your own. So I think it's great personally.
Well, I'm going to give you some personal experience. The idea sounds wonderful. It sounds wonderful. But I did that, and I wasn't a kid. I did that. I ended up purchasing an existing franchise, and the thought they said you will be, you're your own boss. We're going to partner with you. We're going to show you how this business. And I lost everything I had. It was a pyramid, because guess who gets the money? The person that gets the money is the one that originated it. It's another, from my situation.
Mhm.
I had 25, it was a cleaning business. I had 25 employees, 26 employees. I was purchasing all the equipment that I needed, this, that, and the other. It was a gimmick. They saw me and another gentleman at the same time coming, and we put in a whole lot of money. I was paying payroll. It was a farce. If somebody mentioned start taking another business, if I did a business, it would be from scratch, because I know how to do that. And you said something else about the flexibility. Sometimes you may not have all that flexibility that you would want, right? Because you're your own boss.
Hmm.
You spend even more hours on that business. The concept is good, but you better know who you're getting this franchise from, because just like I did, we tried to sue them. They had the lawyers.
Hmm.
They screwed the people. And then when we found out what they were doing, they would find something wrong with what you've done and say that the company was not pleased with you. And what it is, they got a new client that needs businesses. I had I had the private airport in Nashville. I had about 13 SunTrust banks. I had Captain D's headquarters. I had Taylor Swift and Darius Rucker. I
Wow.
had their I had their studio, and there's a couple more. Hertz. I had the Hertz. What they do, they didn't have enough people, so they had to find a reason to kick you out. It's a farce in some cases, not all cases. So God bless the ministries of those parents that go into finding an existing company, because they're going to get theirs from on top. The top tier is going to get their money, and you're going to be down there working, 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 working. So if in fact this is what people are saying is working, I don't know, because I got the twitches. I got the twitches. Don't come to me about something that somebody else already has and want me to invest in it. No, sir, doc. I will be starting from scratch, because I believe in entrepreneurship. I really do. But that for me was a touchy subject. And God bless those parents, because the idea is right. I mean, I guess, but you better know and do some serious investigation. And I was going to do that. And I even went to an attorney, but I had some other people with me, and it went the other way. And I lost pretty much everything.
So sorry to hear that. Wow.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, if you had to do it all over again, and let's say it was a McDonald's or it was another major national brand that if you say the name, everybody knows it is, would you reconsider then, or you just done?
Absolutely not.
Wow,
It's
really?
just like when you leave a church.
Mm.
Oh, come on, come to my church. Come on, come. Oh, it's some similar stuff there. It's some similar stuff there. If you are not the originator, it's a pyramid, in my opinion. It's a pyramid, because the ones at the top is what's going to get the money. You're busting your behind, you're spending all your money. And not to mention, man, when you have these businesses, you got to trust people, because they're going to steal from you. They're going to give your food away. You got to be able to trust those people that's running your stuff. So yeah, that's a sore spot for me. But I'm grateful if that's what some of the parents are doing. Just like with my grandson, he wants to be a chef. From a little boy, he was interested in being a pastry chef. So of lately, I've spoken to one of my daughter's really good friends, an excellent cook. So what in the next maybe 3 to 5 years, he can have his own restaurant. Remember, I always say this analogy: Wendy's not scared of McDonald's. KFC is not scared of Popeyes. So I got some ingredients that's gonna make you keep coming back. I can do some food, because when I used to have all my events in Nashville, I had people that love to cook, but I said, I gotta season the food. Let me season the meat. And I season, and I'm talking about mwah, 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 mwah. So I can do it. Many mistakes. And there's the old saying, if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, every day will be Christmas. So it ain't what so that's where I'm coming from with that. If other people are doing it, they're willing to do it. All I say is do your research, because I said don't do it. That was just my experience, and I'm still scarred when I think about that. So when I saw that topic, I was like, oh yeah, I'll be the one to talk about it. Yeah, let me talk about it. So be mindful if you want to be an entrepreneur, and you want to do an existing business. get all the details, the fine print, and get an attorney. And had I listened to the attorney, we probably wouldn't even known each other. Lawrence, we would have known each other. I would have been somewhere else. Yeah. But
Mm.
it happened because now I know you.
Yeah, well, you know what? I've learned in life that even the bad things that happen
Mhm.
sometimes puts you in a place where you need to be. You just didn't know it at the time.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what I get past the hurt. I get past all the twitching and all that. And when you think about people who are multimillionaires, man, they lost way more than I did.
That's
They
true.
lost, and they did not give up. And those are the people that I'm encouraged by their stories. And I want someone to be encouraged by my story because that was a long time ago, more than 10 years ago. And yeah, way more than 10 years ago. And so seeing where I am right now, it didn't stop nothing. And so, well, it did, but it didn't stop me. It didn't kill who I was on the inside and what God put inside of me. That's what it did not. But oh yeah, I was down and out. I was down for the count. Yeah, I was. I was. I'm not
I
gonna
don't
lie.
I don't blame you. I don't
Yeah.
blame you.
Uh-huh.
Well, this
Yeah.
next one is very interesting. Just when
Okay.
you thought you've heard enough AI stuff.
Okay.
Well, a law school bans electronic devices for the first year students.
Mm-hmm.
So, the University of Chicago Law School instituted a device free classroom mandate for the first year students in response to the rise of artificial intelligence. Taking effect in the core first year courses, incoming students are entirely barred from using laptops, tablets, and phones. That's actually pretty shocking, being that everything's on tablets now. But um, the core ban means that laptop phones and tablets are prohibited across all required first year classes, requiring students to take notes by hand. Well, that's a new one for them. Exam restraints. All examinations are strictly in class and offline without access to the internet or electronic files. Now, there are limited exceptions. Professors may assign specific scribes to be used as devices to take notes for the class or permit device use for interactive polls. Students with approved academic accommodations are also exempt. So, this is a very interesting topic here. I think, you know, for a law school, I think this is actually a good thing personally. What do you think, Wanda?
It is, technology has transformed in almost every part of our lives. We every week we're talking about something. It has transformed our lives to the laptop, smartphones, the tablets, as you just said. And yet this university wants to bar it. Now, on the one hand, I can kind of see, especially where the old was working. Why
Mhm.
fix something that wasn't broke, right? Wasn't broken. And then on the other hand, evolution. We are evolving. Now, personal, I get personal again. I teach a class on Wednesdays as a prayer line, right? And I can remember having my computer set up and everything because it's quicker for me to read it, right? Boy, I forgot to charge my computer up and didn't even realize it. Went out on me. The old school folk. That's why I got my Bible. I can flip my page. I do my handwriting. For an impatient person like me, that ain't going. I just got to charge my computer next time. That was the problem. And it's easier for me to do it that way, right? So depending on what a person like, and not to mention, I could be on my computer, which is the downside. I'm looking for something like I was looking for these topics, right? And oh, so and so got in touch with me. You can get distracted with that device, so you can't focus on your work. So I can see the both sides of that.
And the interesting thing too is that they're not saying they're banning it forever, just the first year. And I think sometimes you need a break because there is times where I literally would put my phone in another part of the house or the room and maybe watch something on TV or something, just to get a break from it. Or even, maybe just go out in the backyard, just sit and do nothing, just relax. Because you kind of do need a break because, once you start getting on social media, you're looking at posts, and then I like looking at the responses. And you kind of find yourself falling into this little pit where you just, oh my God, I've been on this thing for 2 hours,
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm thinking meet me down the middle. I can compromise. That first year, there's so much that you have to, get used to. It's just like you coming from eighth grade to go to high school. That's a transition. You going to high school to college. That's a transition. So when you're going on to higher learning, that's another transition. I'm
Mhm.
thinking, in my opinion, that perhaps a certain portion of the class should be, let's do the no electronics, let's
Mhm.
do it like this, and then let's go to make everybody okay with it. And I think that can kind of balance it out. But just to say the whole first year, did you get? I would, because everybody's not college bound. And technology has made it easier for us to be able to navigate through higher learning. So I'm thinking maybe the first 30 minutes or whatever, we're going to do structured this on this, and let's see what you have. And then see what you got with your, and make it easy the second half. I just, in the first year, I don't agree with that being the first year. I think with some type of sound structure,
Mhm.
and people, you got to do the right thing, man. Not because everybody's looking. You got to do the right thing, because this is why you give them the reason to say it's not going to work. Because look at you. Because just like with the school, when I was in Nashville, in the school system, it was a school wide, a statewide mandate that no cell phone. Oh my God, you thought somebody mama died. You thought, man, oh, it's a cardinal sin. We can't have our phone because they're texting. It was so many fights of people on Facebook instead of being in their class. I had to get on my grandson because he got a warning
Oh,
last
wow.
year. He got a warning that he was on his cell phone. You're not supposed to be on the phone. He texted me, what are you doing on your phone? Asking me about something. Get off of that phone now. So doing the right thing takes discipline.
Yeah.
So I think it's wrong for the whole school year. I don't know what our audience think. I want to say shout out to my friend Howard and Shawanda who dialogue with us, whatever. Yeah. So what does our audience think about this?
I agree. I agree. And there are available techniques in place. Like when my son went to high school, um, they couldn't use their phone during the day at school. And what they did is there's a way they can block all the cell communications going in and out of cell phones, but they'll let certain things like 911 and certain other things get through. So unfortunately, the average school doesn't have that budget to get that kind of technology, but it does exist. And the other thing too is my son just graduated from a very prestigious music school. It would be impossible not to use those things because he's in the music business. So that's a part of the business. Now, yes, his main art is his voice, his writing ability, producing, but you need to be able to use the boards to control the music. You
And
need to be able to use the computers to mix the
yep.
music and edit it. So it's impossible for them not to have the technology to use. So I guess it depends on what it is, as far as being able to say, okay, we're not going to do this.
And the thing about this, dealing with it, the world is going to leave America behind. The Japanese, the Chinese, all the other countries, they are advancing. So while they're dealing with these cars that's flying, we're gonna still be putting gas in our cars here. So we have to. You cannot get away from technology and evolution. Again, it just goes back to the discipline. Those people in those foreign countries, they are disciplined. They're a lot more disciplined than we are. And so I think that's what we're missing. With because it's okay to have it, but you got to have discipline with it. And for me, like I said, I believe we do need both. It's
Mhm.
kind of nice to be able to write, but sometimes in this fast paced world, this fast paced generation that we're living in, it's hard to want to sit down and just write. Like when I first did my first book, it took me a long time to do that first book. But the second book, it took me maybe a matter of maybe 4 months to get all the material. I didn't put it all in there because I was kind of going through some things in life. So I had a whole bunch of stuff to write down. So the writing was therapeutic. But when I got ready to sit back and read it and have to look at it, I got to look at what other people are going to be seeing as well and not me venting. So I was able to write a lot, but my fingers got crampy. So yeah, so technology, don't shun it. Just I think it's everything in life is about balance, man. It's about balance. But at any rate,
That is
I'm on my
true. That is
soapbox.
definitely true. Well, this last topic, this is an interesting one, and I can't wait to see what people say about this one. But a woman swings on a stripper pole, which the pole breaks away and floods both her and her neighbor's apartment. This video has gone viral, okay? But a West Houston woman's pole dancing ended in disaster after the pole hit a fire sprinkler and flooded her and her neighbor's apartment. Asha Gilbert was filming herself in her living room on July 6th as she followed along to a pole dancing workout tutorial. Right as she begins spinning on the pole, the top dislodges from the ceiling and hits a fire sprinkler, causing water to shoot everywhere.
Oh my God.
Immediately, I'm in a shock because I'm like, oh my gosh, this cannot be happening to me, said Gilbert. The pole was a recent addition to Gilbert's living room. She says a colleague had given it to her just 3 days prior. Wow, colleagues give polls now? That's a new one to me. Anyway, he was like, hey, I have this poll. Okay, so even much more weirder, but okay. I'm giving it away. Do you want it? I'm like, yeah, absolutely, I want it, Gilbert said. But when she had a friend install it, they didn't anchor to the ceiling. Instead, they relied on the pole's natural tension between the ceiling and the floor. Okay, that was dumb. It wasn't even a thought that it could possibly hit the sprinkler, Gilbert said. We were more worried about hitting a wall. Much of Gilbert's furniture was ruined, and she had to move to a different apartment. She said the water also seeped into the downstairs neighbor's unit. Oh, there's a whole lot we're going to say about this one.
Oh my God. My God. You know, this story may sound humorous at first, but it carries a serious lesson. According to the reports, a woman was using the stripper pole installed in the apartment, as you just said, and you damaged not just your apartment, but the other people in the building. And did you say she had to move to another apartment in the same building?
Yes.
She must have been real. That must have been a family building or something. It'd be a family building. But what in the world are you thinking, first of all, to accept a stripper pole? You don't know, and I don't know how thick she was or if that had
Mhm.
anything to do with it, because even a small person can have, like they call it, dead weight, could be real heavy. So depending on how they hit the thing. But that was just dumb and dumber.
Yes.
That was not smart at all to put a stripper pole in the house and not count the cost.
Well,
That was
the other crazy thing about it, Wonder, is the only way to safely install that, you have to nail it into screw it into a,
30s. Yeah. A
which
stud.
is very difficult to do in the ceiling because the way the ceiling beams are only a few inches wide. So you couldn't even put all four of them in there. So even if you anchor up, do you put a plate or something in there to connect? Now,
Right.
before people go, Lawrence, how do you know so much about this? Okay, I do work around my house. Okay, I own a home. Okay, so let's not go crazy because I know some people gonna go online like, Lawrence, what's going on in your house? So no, just saying.
Right, Tracy? Okay, wifey. All right. But anyway, it's just a lot of fun. Whatever you do.
Hey,
I
let
can't
me
wait
ask
to
you
see
this.
her.
Would you put a stripper pole up?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. My body weight would it? No, man, no way, Jose. And one person's action is another person's consequences.
Yeah.
Man, you got consequences when you make boneheaded choices like that. And who was the friend? Did the friend chip in with the damages? Because that's the other
You know,
thing. So you
I'm
putting
confused about that too because it's like, what kind of friends do you have that give away stripper poles? I'm just saying,
well, no, I'm talking about the friend, not just that friend, the friend that put it up.
True,
The friend,
true.
are you going and defacing somebody? You got to get permission to
Yes,
put changes in an apartment.
yes.
And she probably gonna have her friends to come over. Like come on. Oh Lord, oh my God! Imagine what really would have happened.
Mhm.
Somebody broke a leg, broke a hip, probably did some serious damage up in there. Oh my God, I can't even fathom that. So the thing about it, you should think before you act. Wanda P. I'm the one. You think before you act, man. Consider whether your actions could put other people at risk.
Yeah.
We just need to think about those things, man. Wow.
But yeah, I'm wondering a couple things. One, did she have renter's insurance? Because very few apartments require, which I'm very shocked because renter's insurance is so cheap. And here's the other thing: if she didn't, is the owner going to make her pay for that damage? That's the real question.
What they gonna get it out? Take it out. I'm not gonna say that. Lord, watch my. It's my father's. I'm gonna take it out you. Take it out you. Where are you gonna take it from? Because undoubtedly she's trying to get a second job or trying to entertain somebody. And so now with everything else, people want to work from home. So maybe she was trying to work from home. And another story. My studio I had in Nashville. I remember I was renting it out, and the lady told me, she said, "While I was coming home, and it was cold outside, like
Mhm.
maybe October or something like that." And she was pulled up in the back, and she was renting the studio out. Do you not know that this guy? She said, "Why they put a stripper pole?" I said, "What in my studio?" And the little girl was outside because she couldn't freezing. And she
Mm.
happened to come home. She threw on folk about it. But so people would take your property that they're renting from and think they can do anything with it. Yeah, had little young girls teaching them how to. Another girl was teaching them how to be strippers. These were
Mm.
like 12 and 13-year-old girls. Yeah, they were renting the place out for something with the youth, and the lady happened to come home that was renting it, and she saw the girl out there just shivering. What you out there for? They told me it's a punishment because I couldn't swing on the pole. She said, "What pole?" Went in there and I ain't gonna tell you what happened, but it needs to say they were gone. But she could not believe they had put in a portable stripper pole in the studio. So yeah, people got a lot of nerve, colossal nerve.
Wow.
Yeah, now that's a whole nother story now. That fits another topic.
Well,
But yeah,
everyone, don't put a stripper pole up in an apartment, okay?
please
Just don't do
don't.
that. And if you're gonna put one up, get someone who knows how to put up a pole and nail it into the actual studs themselves. Okay, put a plate up there, whatever.
And take
Don't have
some
your buddy.
lessons.
Don't have your buddy do it. Just have somebody do it there.
Yes, that's crazy.
But I still would like to know what kind of friends does she have that give away stripper poles, though. Just saying, that's kind of
Strippers.
a conversation. I would think.
Can you go to Amazon? I don't know.
Well, everyone, we had a great time today. A lot of
Yes.
great stuff.
Yeah.
And man, it's just too bad we don't have more time because man, we got a lot of stuff we could have talked about. But
Yes.
I do want to thank everyone for supporting us. Please continue to watch us. And also make sure that you share what you watch and also tell people who we are. And, if there's anything specific that you would love to see us talk about, I know a lot of you go into the comment section. I do read all of them. Some of them, wow, I'll just leave it like that. But if you have some ideas on things that you want us to talk about, definitely feel free to leave a message there, and maybe we'll listen to you and surprise you one day with your suggestions. So again, I'm Lawrence Elrod.
And I'm Wander P. And I want to give a shout out to my boy Howard, to my girl Deborah. I think Deborah's listening tonight, and also to Shawanda. They've all made the comments and everything. So if you guys heard something tonight, the conversation is going to continue to go. Even if we're off the air, it's going to continue to go on, and we'll respond to your comments. So I'm Wanda P. Follow me on all the social media platforms.
Take care, everyone.
Peace.
Bye bye.